Hi guys, welcome back. So in today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is how to properly prepare and protect your newly mounted tyres. So we get this question asked quite a lot. As soon as you mount your tyres, this is probably the most important step in your tyre game that you can ever do. Now, fresh tyres have got moulding agents in there, they've got, tyre wax, which will continue to bleed out over the course of anywhere between 10 to 300 miles. It depends on the tyre compound and the tyre manufacturers. Now, if you fail to prepare the tyre wall properly on this first wash like we're about to do now, what you're going to find is you're going to put a tyre dressing, whether it's water-based or silicone-based, on top of a surface that is not correctly being prepared to absorb the dressing and make the tyres look nice. So as soon as you drive, obviously with the wheel motion going, all the dressing is going to go up the side of the car. So I'm going to bring you in closer now and I'm going to show you how we would prepare a brand new Michelin 4S tyre. All right guys, so basically if you look within the cracks here, that's where they put a specialist, as you can see, it's just absolute filth. They basically put a certain compound in to mount your tyres correctly, so against the freshly kind of done black wheel you will see white marks all over the place. Now the tyre itself has been driven in the rain, it's got a lot of contaminants, so the easiest way to do this is what I've been doing for many years, is firstly you're going to pre-rinse the tyre as best you can, and that's to remove any loose rocks, contaminants, any loose oils and grease. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come in with something of a dedicated product. So in this case we're going to be using YumCars. Now with YumCars, it is specifically designed to penetrate deep inside the rubber, so it'll start to bleed the brown immediately. Now on normal tyres, let's say you've driven for 1,000 miles or a couple of weeks without washing, you're going to spray it on, it's going to start to bleed brown. You're going to agitate it, you're going to rinse off. Now, if you were to repeat the process again, more than likely, depending on what your previous dressing was, but more than likely, the foam will start to turn white. Now, in this case, I reckon that this will take multiple hits. Again, this is once in a lifetime of the tyre that you're going to do this. So if you're going to potentially do it 1, 2, 3 times maybe, then just do it, because if you skip a step, so imagine I was just to do it real quick, rinse it out, go, that's clean, and you start putting dressing, at that point you've already laid a protective product on top of something that's just never done properly. So for the life of the car tyre, what you're going to be doing is you're going to kind of be taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So in this case, spend the extra 5 minutes, and this will just literally be the easiest thing you'll ever do. So again, we're going to pre-rinse the tyre as well as we can. Now what we're going to do is let this formula sit as long as possible. Get it in the bottoms. Now obviously the way I've designed this is it comes out in a thick gel formula, not like potentially other products where it's a very loose formula, so it will hit and run off. This is actually being allowed to sit for as long as possible. Now I'm going to take one of these. Again, this is a dedicated brush specifically for tyres, nothing for the face or the bodywork. This is a very stiff bristle brush, so it's not the stiffest that's on the market, but it's not the softest. So we've had this done where it's probably 75%, so it gives you enough flex so you can put the power into it. Now what I like to do sometimes when I know the tyre's not going to be the best condition, or in this case it's brand new, I like to just to pre-prime it a little bit. This is probably once that you'll do it in your lifetime, and you start to agitate. Now in this case the foam is fairly white, it's not bad. Now I know James from the wheel specialist, he said, as per my request, I told him please do not dress the tyre. Again, for the purpose of this video, and also because I don't want to be constantly battling against removing stuff. Now what he did say, he has used a trade standard degreaser. Now, so no, in fact I think he said he's using IPA. and that's just to remove the major browning. So this is probably the answer why. I mean, it's still browning, especially in the grooves where you probably couldn't get as deep as some of these bristles. So we're going to rinse it off again, and just as a precaution, we're going to reapply the product, and now this time it will be foamier, it'll be even whiter as well. So it's removing something, and as you can see, there's still something on the surface because the foam is dissipating fairly quickly. Now this would have been interesting if James see, look, it's just starting to frop up so much quicker. If James hadn't wiped it down with IPA, it would have been very interesting. Because he said when the tyres came out of the packaging, there was some yellowing on them, or browning in fact. But as you can see here though, the foam itself is actually got a thicker consistency. It's a lot whiter as well. Now, one thing I love about the 4S tyres from Michelin is, obviously, apart from the safety aspect of them, this is why all performance cars have them now standard out of the factory. It's just the tyre wall is just nice. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, and the cleaning process gets made easier, but the dressing process, just the way they look once they're professionally dressed. There we go. Well, that's treatment. So that's how you prep a tyre. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to wash the rest of the car. We're going to put it back on the ramps, and I'm going to show you the final step to achieving that perfect tyre dress look on now a perfectly prepared tyre. Just, oh, beautiful. There's just nothing on there. So I'm going to take you inside and we'll finish the video. So now into the most important part. The tyres are clean. They're ready to soak in some new moisture within the tread. So what I would recommend, and this is personally the way I do it, and I've had amazing results from this. So once the tyres are fully aired out, they're dry, there's literally no moisture on them, I would apply, so if you're gonna put, say, 3 to 4 dots onto a normal application, I would put 5 to 6 more dots on. And this is what I mean by a little bit more. I put a little bit more on, and I actually leave them to soak for, give or take, 3 to 4 hours. Now what this does is, like anything porous, so for example, take this, so when the surface is fresh, it's brand new, this will soak up dressing super quick, but after a while it will require only a little bit here and there. Same thing with the tyre. I let this soak for a couple of hours, and then what I like to do is take a wheel microfiber, and I like to just hit it down once and knock it back down to, let's say, a satin finish. So like with any chemical, just give it a good shake. So again, this is YumDress. It contains vital oils within the formula. So again, look, that's 6 drops. Just for my own OCD, I like to butterfly the applicator pad, just so now you have an even distribution, something like this. That's nice and even now, rather than just having a few dots. And what I do, I work this in. It's super easy to apply, but by working it in, you're working it into all the rubbers, all the pores, and this just allows the oils to penetrate the highly porous rubber. Now, if you find on your first application that you need to apply a little bit more, as in the tyres are literally sucking up so much product, so in my case, they're sucking up so much product that you actually can't get around the full tyre. Again, look, I've put another 4 dots in. So keep massaging it in, obviously without over applying it, until there isn't a single piece of dry rubber that you can see. And there you have it. I'm going to go around all 4 tyres, repeat the same process. Again, to me, what works best and the longest way of doing dressings, believe it or not, if you don't prepare your tyres like we just have from the start, so after your first wash, You will always actually chase your tail. I've noticed this with people who ask me advice, or people who've sent me images in. The prep, if you can't get those oils out first, there's always going to be a little bit of seepage, a little bit of gas off the molding wax. Of course, eventually it will go. However, for the first few, maybe even 1,000 miles, you might have issues. So if you follow these steps, the tire dressing is going to look good. It's going to last for a lot longer. And you'll just have an amazing look to your tires. So again, Michelin 4S's best tire dress in my opinion, beautiful compound. And it looks like this now. So I'm going to let this soak for as long as possible. I'm going to then remove any excess if the tire has accepted enough dressing and enough moisture, and then starts to reject maybe a couple of mil or a couple of percent. Then at that point, that's why I do the initial wipe, and it'll knock it down to a nice satin look. It's already fairly satin now, but again, it's just in the process of bonding with the rubber. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's a very simple step, but a lot of people overcomplicate it. And hopefully I've just debunked a few things for you here. So you now know how to look after your tires from start to finish until the end of their life. Anyway guys, I will keep this one a short one. I will see you on the next one. Have a good day.